Okay, now some stories about Jeremy. Okay, Jeremy was always a very much of a fun child from the time he was born. He always amazed me. He walked at 9 months. Okay, and he was just a delight to bring up. Okay, in fact, I remember one time, I can't remember how old he was exactly, but Dad used to jog in those days, so Jeremy decided he wanted to go jogging. So Sue picked him up a jogging outfit at a garage sale somewhere, and we head down the street. We get about, I don't know, 100 yards or a little further or something like that. Jeremy says, "Okay, Dad, I'm done," and we head back. There's so many fun stories to tell about Jeremy that we don't have time except for a few. Now, Jeremy was such a good child that we decided we could take him on the sailing school. And, I never thought that would happen, to, have this 5-day live on board, learn to sail cruise that we were operating at the time, and to bring Jeremy along. And I remember Jeremy, fortunately the 45-footer had 3 cabins, and it had an aft captain's cabin that had an extra bunk in it that was just perfect for Jeremy because it was surrounded on each side and everything, and we could even look in through the cockpit while he was napping during the day and see him in there. Well, one night Sue wakes me up at about some ungodly hour during the middle of the night and says that Jeremy's missing from his bunk. And so anyway, I said, "Don't worry, I didn't hear a splash," which didn't make Sue too happy, to say the least. So I wake up, and I usually wake up fairly rapidly, and I was thinking properly, and I go out to the main cabin in the dark there, and Jeremy is sleeping on this fellow's very hairy legs. So I picked him back up, put him back in his bunk, and asked the gentleman, the next day, and he never even knew Jeremy was sleeping on his hairy legs. So that's one of the many stories there in the sailing school. When we used to come back in on Friday evening, there were boatyard ducks. And Jeremy was always excited to see the ducks, and this time he had just about brand new sneakers, and he's so excited about the ducks holding on the handrail there, he kicks one of his sneakers up into the air and into the drink. So Dad, being a frugal Scotsman and everything, is he going to let it sit at the bottom of the harbor? Okay, nope. I think I had a face mask, but I don't remember for sure. But I was lucky that on my first dive down to the bottom of Bullock's Cove, that I was able to retrieve it. The other thing about Jeremy in the sailing school is, as he got older, to keep him occupied, we decided to get him into fishing. So while I was doing book work in the morning, teaching the students, out of the book and everything, Jeremy would fish. One of the first times ever that we did this, Jeremy was a little too anxious with bottom fishing, and he would yank the hook up a little too fast. So I hooked a couple of, I believe they were scup on there, and then I said, "Okay, Jeremy, it's your turn to try to see if you can catch anything." And he was all excited to pull up these scup. And I thought I had him fooled for sure, but that night, when I'm putting to bed, he says, "Thanks, Dad, for hooking those fish and letting me pull them in." Now, when Jeremy was about 2, we had a surgeon from Boston come down and to go out in the sailing school with us. When he found out there was going to be a 2-year-old on board, that he was not happy, to say the least. He almost got up and left. Now, I never said anything to Jeremy. Jeremy was, even at that age, tuned into people. He could tell that the surgeon was not happy about him being on board and stayed away from him. But once the surgeon realized that Jeremy wasn't going to be a problem, by about Wednesday, Jeremy's sitting in his lap, enjoying each other's company, And the surgeon enjoyed Jeremy's company so much that he came back the next year and brought his wife. The sailing school wasn't really set up for, for a return visit, but that worked out. It worked out very well.